I think you're sexy. I think you're beautiful. I love the way your curves move. And yes, I want to show you some dirty, sexy altcoins that pumped in the last cycle so you can get an idea of the filtering you need to do to enhance your crypto portfolio going forward from now. Of course, we know the crypto cycle relies on the magical woo-woo 4-year global liquidity index that we hope keeps ticking along. Of course, friends, you're watching the deep state, planned assassination, planned cyber attack, UFO leaks are probably going to come up next. All paths lead back to the money printer. So we know the money printer is going to keep staying on. That's actually what we need in crypto, but there's more nuance than that, isn't there? Because like, if it was just as easy as buying a couple of coins, we'd all do it. Problem is, it's too easy to mint a coin. You want to know what's fascinating, friends? Before we dive in, I'm just going to tell you that you might have an epiphany. Maybe you're out there taking the dunny. Maybe you're out there making a sandwich in the kitchen. You probably think, wait a minute. If it's so easy to make a coin, why don't we raise the difficulty to make a coin so that it's harder just to copy paste? Then, if people are in a coin or a network or a token, the coin would have bigger believers. Oh my gosh. That's called Bitcoin, by the way. Because to join the network, you got to be a computer miner. Here's the problem, though. The crypto industry started forking Bitcoin first before it moved on to Ethereum. So in 2012, the narratives and the cycles and everything that was encompassing basically altcoinery, poop coinery, that type of sin, that they call it, is a joke term, by the way, friends. Play some angel music for them, okay? We want to play some extended angel music later on. But yes, that's pretty much what it comes down to. We already tried that, okay? That was the first cycle. Okay, that was a very, very first cycle, which I'm going to show you right now. 2012, friends, that's what they ended up doing. They ended up forking Bitcoin, and then you have Litecoin around here. You had that type of cycle pump appearing. We peaked in November 2013. What did the market decide to do, though? Instead of requiring this higher barrier to entry, you know, Ethereum comes along, you have more of this, hey, proof of stake stuff, but it wasn't even proof of stake at the start. You still had proof of work at the beginning. But it's just interesting what happened because people's need to speculate and be early to a network and wanting a bull market speculation vehicle, their need for those things were way overpowering compared to what's right for decentralization. So they just kept minting poop coins. Fascinating. That's what we have right now. So Bitcoin's one. It's a base money. And now let's continue, friends. I want you to think about where we're going this in the future. It's a different proof of work now. All right. It's not proof of work as in the computer mining and stuff. We figured out that can be easily cheated. People can just copy paste. Okay, computer mining. They give themselves the pre-mined tokens. The new proof of work is an active community. Don't forget that. The community is the asset, not the code. If only had a friend here wearing a Pokemon hat that's been saying this for literally a year and a half plus. It's almost been 2 years now. I've been saying the community is the asset, not the code, literally since 2020. 2 years straight, every day. Well, everyone thinking it's a code, got nothing to do with the code, pretty much. It's the community. The community can't be, you can't copy paste the community. You can't cheat the community. They need to be there, okay? Now, look at these 7 out of 8 coins we're going to go through, friends. I want to show you this. Firstly, first one's HEX, okay? So what I've done is I go exactly 4 years ago. So you go back July 2020, 4 years ago, and there are 8 coins here. There are others that did over a 100x. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at coins that did more than a 100x from 4 years ago. Not from the bottom of the zombie virus or the bottom of the bear market. No, from 4 years ago, where we are today. And already I will tell you now, because friends, I love giving you the juiciest content up front, to let you know that 7 out of these 8 coins are new Cycle 1 coin communities when they appeared. So they were not old. Back in 2020, 7 out of 8 were new. Cycle 1 coin, Cycle 1 narratives. Golly gee, I've got hundreds of videos about this, hundreds of posts, dozens of videos mentioning this to you, where we speak about Cycle 1 narratives, product market fit. People want new stuff. They want new bull market speculation vehicles. That's what they want every single time. New trumps old for the most part, especially in crypto. I guess until crypto gets mature enough where we just value cash flow, but we'll wait and see how that plays out in the future. Now, HEX, friends, is the first one. Look at that. HEX HEX did a 120x. And if you want to go back to the chart, you go back to where July is, 2020, friends, around here. Wee! Did like 140, 120x. There's July around here. Yay! 120x, 130x. Pretty big. And you got more coins from short-term staking. So your real number is more like 180 to 200x. But I'm just going purely off the chart. So just to show you, man, that's actually pretty big. That's really, really, really big. That's nice, 180x. Now, that's obviously HEX, Richard Hart's coin. Maybe you heard of him. Marketed as a better Bitcoin and a store of value. And we've got his new coins now, PulseChain, PulseX incentive token. Now, what I'm going to do, friends, is I'm going to go to lookintohex.com. I'm just going to remove, actually, I'll leave BNB up here. I'll leave Sol up here. I'm just going to remove some coins just to clean it up. I want you to see something, okay? So this is, you can see the orange line is HEX down here. The orange line is HEX. Sol is up there, so you can make it more clear. Obviously, who's Big Daddy up here? This is Bitcoin. This is Ethereum. This is BNB. So the chart's going up and to the right. This is Solana. Chart's going up and to the right. So you have, you know, all of them going up and to the right. But then you have something here going, this is going down to the right. Okay, now there's something we got to also think about. It is the staking part. All right, so what we're gonna do is remove this HEX chart, and I'm gonna change to the EHEX share, which is literally, that is if you're fully staked. So if you're fully staked, remember, just EHEX, it makes a chart look better, but it's actually deceptively better because, you know, this price of Ethereum down to where HEX is down here, that is still a minus 75% drop. So it would be like, instead of Ethereum being $100 in the zombie virus bottom, which is what it hit, it would be Ethereum going down to $25. That's where EHEX is today. That's devastating. So just to show you, that's comparative. All right. But you might say, oh, where's pHEX? The problem is with pHEX, friends, it looks like a migration scam where you just go, okay, we've got a new chart now. So, but just telling you that, look, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. Hey, it was great. Well, it's there. I hope we get it again. Just showing you that it's tough, man. BNB is centralized, but it has the beautiful friendship of Binance Unicorn pumping these things up over time. Now, obviously, you're praying and playing for a reversal of this, aren't you? That's what you're pretty much playing for. You're playing for, that's what everyone in here is playing for. And you might even have, we don't have the full chart. It would be nice if Gerardo, we need you to make a chart where you use EHEX as the chart. And then when the forked copy comes out, you use both. You count both. So it's start to finish, it includes both. And that'll be the true chart. And it's not like it would change it up heaps, but it just gives you better perspective as to where things are. Okay. And of course, if everyone's looking for the sideline, they're wondering, if you did 120x from last cycle, can you do it again from today? Can PulseX, incentive token, can they do them from today? Well, I would love them to do that from today, right? You know, the real number, friends, the real number with the incentive token yield and stuff, like if you with the HEX taking yield, the 180x, but I'm just being conservative, 120x. So what would 120x be if we did that from today, right? I'm just gonna bring it up now. 120x from today would bring this all the way up to, there you go, around 60x day one sack. Now, 60x day one sack, 100x from today. Let's assume the ratios stay the same, which they're not going to, but let's assume every single ratio stays the same. The total Richard Hart ecosystem, it's about 1.7 billion size, all right? So if it did 120x from today, it becomes 204 billion. 204 billion. Can we get there, man? I hope we get there. I hope we get there. That is non-origin address market cap, okay? 204 billion is half the size of Ethereum. You are twice the size, more than 2.5 times the size of Solana. You flip BNB. So it's a big amount. Of course, you're expecting them to go up first. It's not like they don't move up in a vacuum as well. They do. And I made a video about Richard Hart's dominance, just to tell you. That was a good video. Richard Hart's dominance hit 45 billion with a B back then. So that's another way to look at these things, friends. So if in 2021, Richard Hart peaked at 45B, right now we are 1.7B. So what you can do is you might say, well, look, I don't know if we're ever going to beat that number. So you might just be like, okay, let me find out what return we get from today if we just went back to Richard Hart's dominance, and it's 26x. It's around 26x. So you go to like, you know, PulseX, EHEX, pHEX, Inc. Everything does a 26x, and we just go back to the September 2021 highs. 26x would be around Pulse hitting 13x day one sack. And then you have combined HEX, which is here a 26x. Where would that be? Let's go just have a look at here. 26x would be around 20 cents combined HEX. All right. Now, obviously, HEX doesn't go reach its all-time high. Why? The community got diluted. That's why. Into Pulse and PulseX. There was a dilution effect. But it's interesting to know. You have an active community. What are you betting for? That's what you're betting for. You're betting for a return. You just don't know how much. The staunch believers, this is in every community, staunch believers, everything's going to flip. Just like in Ethereum world, the staunch believers believe Ethereum is flipping Bitcoin this cycle. You have to, that's why all the maxis are always going to believe they're never going to get out of any coin. So that's what they're actually playing for. That's where the investment thesis is. And you can get it's basically you're spinning the wheel, man. You just don't know what you're going to land on. Like, we could land at 10x. We could land at 100x. I don't know where we're going to land at. I hope we land at towards the closer to the 100x. You just don't know. You got to remember as well, the PulseChain sacrifice and PulseX sacrifice sucked up a lot of HEX back in 2021. So that acted like a deflationary burst there as well. Now, moving on, friends. 4 years ago, DOGE did a 250x. The first cryptocurrency meme coin. It was adopted by Elon Musk and rocketed hard. To this day, the DOGE BTC chart still makes a floor higher against Bitcoin. It is the only coin to ever do that. So remember with HEX, you had Richard Hart's cult. Yeah, pretty much that's what it is. Okay, good community. Now with DOGE BTC, you had the Elon cult. So this is DOGE, and DOGE did this chart forever, and then it finally busted up here, and now it's doing this floor up. It's probably going to do this. I hope it does this. This is amazing. Okay, see this floor price? This is fantastic. Okay, so it proves to you it is possible for a coin to outperform Bitcoin in the long run. This is the only coin to ever do that, by the way, in multiple cycles. So it does this range forever. It's just amazing how DOGE had this floor for Bitcoin, and then it finally bursts up, and now here it is again. And it's a meme coin. So, by the way, obviously, don't be fooled on a regular chart. It just looks like absolute ass. Like, if you look at the ratio, you're still down 85%. Yeah, DOGE BTC is down 85%, but that's a real chart. And that's something to keep in mind, because now you know that there's only one coin that's outperformed Bitcoin in the long run. It's a meme coin. That's funny. Why aren't you a privacy coin? Why aren't you payment solutions? Why aren't you anything else? You can ask why. I've got many answers. I can tell you why. It makes sense. We can go through the deep philosophical stuff about retailers and bull market speculation vehicles and cash flow and the traditional finance system. We can go through all of that. Doesn't really matter. All that, just DOGE BTC chart. That's all you need. That's your barometer going forward. That's your guiding star. DOGE did a 250x, man. That was big. That was big. But you needed Elon. So DOGE, out of this list, it's the only coin that was not cycle one. It was the only coin. Everything else was brand new last cycle. So it's telling you, new coins this cycle have a higher chance to fly. I mean, case in point, look at the meme coin index. Meme coins, they did 14x this year. Everything else did 2 or 3x. And then everything drops 70% together on average. You know, meme coins on average are new. Peppy, Whiff, everything, right? DickWifButt, HOA, Peach, all the Pika on PulseChain, or not just PulseChain, all these other ones, right? Solana, friends, back then, it did a 235x from 4 years ago. Now, remember, I got 108x because I didn't buy it exactly 4 years ago. I bought it, I think, towards September-ish so around Q3, Q4 of the 2020 year. Now, Solana did 235x. The coin of Solana, the most popular non-EVM blockchain, it pumped 235x. Now, of course, people say, well, weren't there FTX customers rotating in? Yeah, but it's still around. And see how hard it is to pick that, by the way. Like, just, it was so hard, man. But that, friends, I remember the only reason, oh, man, I was meant to have 10 times heavier size in Solana. I watched the CoinBureau video, where he basically fudded me out of Solana. I'll never forget it, man. I was this close to adding into Solana 10x. But he mentioned in the video, he said they have a lot of supply and it went missing. So they moved it to secret wallets that you can't track on the chain. Now, we ended up finding out later on in the FTX stuff, that went to jump trading. So they were given super cheap deals. It's just that they didn't dump. They were there market making and stuff. I guess they believed, the insider cabal believed. All right? So that's how these things work, man. It's random. You don't know. That's why if you have information asymmetry, you have an edge. That's why I'm telling you with PulseChain, everyone thinks Richard's going to dump or he's going to steal the Ethereum and run. All right, what if he doesn't? That's how information asymmetry, man. It's literally Solana from 4 years ago. I got fudded out of Solana adding more bullets because of that. I got fudded out a couple of things. But not fudded, like I still had exposure, but I was like, I want to go 10 times harder. But then, like, they put me in. Well, here's the thing. You don't even know the communities. You don't even know. I didn't have Twitter. Don't know. It's just like a bunch of stuff. It's just a bunch of logos rotating around, friends. Like there's 200, 300 coins on the front page. You have no idea what the hell's going on. Like, why is this one and why not that one? And remember back then, friends, you got to understand the pioneering and how difficult it is, because new stuff like Solana that appeared, even HEX, for example, and all these other ones we're going to go through, when they appeared, people were saying, look, man, they're risky. XRP community's been around. You know it's not going to rug. Tron community's been around. You know it's not going to rug. Like, they've been around. And that was the fear in everyone's hearts. Right? Look at this. Axie did a 1,100x. Axie Infinity took over the crypto gaming world. This was launched in Nov 2020 and then went on to pump an enormous 1,100x if you bought at the end of its first day launch. Now, that is absolutely wild. You can actually go and check it out yourself. So you go to TradingView, friends. If you go to AXS USD, you type that, you go to always this spot crypto index. Now, this is what it looks like. Oh, wow, it looks like the HEX chart. Whee! See, everything on a linear chart looks, oh, wow, 95% wrecked. But here's the thing, friends. This is what it looked. This was the actual chart. This is the actual chart. Came back. Absolutely wild. 1,100x. That's huge, huge, huge. Okay, now, Axie's gaming, and so many lessons to learn from these, friends. Axie's got mainstream coverage everywhere because, I mean, it was funding the whole GDP of Philippines. And it was a game, friends, they're all closed circles, all of them. But they went up so much. See, when the green candles are appearing, man, if you have your friend Sommi here saying, hey, man, it's a closed circle Ponzi. I wasn't saying it because I wasn't paying much attention, but this thing going up, friends, you got to imagine, you're just looking at this. No one's believing you, dude. No one believes any, like, even doing this, friends, when this thing does that, you're up 15x and then you're doing this. No one, we're like, bro, what do you mean Ponzi? It's going up. It's going up. You know what I mean? No one's listening, dude. No one's listening. Look at it now. What do you mean by closed circle Ponzi? Well, people are only playing the game to basically, you know, make money, buy potions and do this stuff. All right. Well, the only reason that they're playing the game is because they can mint money from the bid. But the only reason they can mint money from the bid is that people before them had bought in. Now, if people before them don't buy, instead they click sell and the price goes reflexively down, which is what it did, no one really wants to play the game anymore. By the way, I heard on Crypto Banter, shout out to Randy Boo, that Axie Infinity still has 70,000 daily users. So a lot of people still playing. It's probably like one of the villages in Philippines still being funded by it. So they're still playing. I guess somewhere in the world, like, you know, their minimum wage is so low that it's still better to play this. Or it could be out of habit. But you get to see, man, these things go high, man. Like, oh, yeah, you want to FUD this thing that went up 50x? Guess what? It ends up going 1,100x. It ends up going another 20x higher from when you FUD it, and then it finally round trips you 2.5 years later. But be careful, that's anchoring to unicorn. It only did this once. There are 500 coins it did not do this to. This was a unicorn. Make no mistake. You also had Luna, friends. The collapsed Luna did 480x. The coin of Terra Luna, the project behind an algorithmic stablecoin experiment that imploded when the price dropped because they had to infinitely mint the supply as it was only backed by the existing bid. So that was it. They had a stablecoin. They go, hey, it's worth $1. We're going to provide you yield. And then, you know, you wonder, okay, what happens if the thing goes down too much? Well, their mechanism was, if the thing goes down too much, the stablecoin, they will mint Luna grab money out of the bid to go save the stablecoin. The problem, though, is you are only limited by whatever's on the Luna bid. Now, I mean, like, Ethereum Maxis was saying, oh, yeah, this is a Ponzi, not going to work. Okay. It did 480x. All right. So just imagine, friends, by the way, you're saying it's a Ponzi, it's not going to work. And then this thing does the first 10x. Okay. It's got another 40 to go, by the way. It does its first. By the way, I'm going to show you the chart just so you can see what it looked like. You can type in Luna USD. You have a look. So I want you to understand. What a chart, man. I want you to understand, friends, the power of what happened. So we are July 2020. Look at this. It does the first 10x. You are here. Okay. You're like, it's a Ponzi. It's a Ponzi. Luna is now $2. Okay. You're like, man, it's a Ponzi. It's a Ponzi. This is a weekly chart. Okay. You're like, man, like, yeah, it's a Ponzi. All right, bro. Bang, 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 bang. Look at this. Okay. Look at this. It goes up to $20. So you're fighting it at $2 because you're like, it's a Ponzi. Then it goes up to 20, comes back down. You think it's exploded. No, then it goes up to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. Man, it does a 50x from your first $2 call. Then it goes to 0 because I had to infinitely attack it, right? Not so easy, is it? And that's why, here's the thing, man. The only reason someone holds up here is because they believe. They don't even know it's a Ponzi. They generally believe in their heart there's something magical going on here. That's the only people who make it that far are the people who literally like, nothing can get me out. It's all just paper, digits, trading, and I'm not going to participate in the sell part because they believe it's going to keep going up. That's lessons to be learned, friends. And they had a cult, right? There's always a cult following. You need the big group cult following. You can already see. Hex had Richard Hart cult. Doge had Elon Musk cult, okay? Solana didn't have a cult. Had like autistic kids following FTX, okay? Just a bunch of weirdos. Axis didn't have a cult. You had the whole country of Philippines. Luna, you had the Do Kwon cult. So you can see there's some common elements with these. Now, MATIC. MATIC, friends, did 150x. I had a bullet on that. Should have had more. Got fudded out, man, by Chico Crypto. Because he basically was, man, it was just, I'll never forget this, friends. Like, I can't obviously blame myself, but you don't know any better. Because I remember Chico Crypto was saying, well, Ethereum is a decentralization maxi coin, and so is Bitcoin. And Ethereum did 1,500x in its first cycle. So the other decentralization maxi coin should do another 1,000x, which was XDAI stake. And it was competing against MATIC. Now, MATIC was owned by 13 Indian dudes. They still do, by the way. They have 70% of the supply. Back then, it was like 85% of the supply. And guess what? MATIC was the one that won. Only had one bullet in it. I was meant to have 10. See? Who cares about decentralization, man? Didn't mean anything. Did not mean anything. So the MATIC bullet goes 120x for me, or however much I went, I forgot. And then XDAI stake does nothing, drops 70%. Even though I had like way more allocation into that. MATIC, the coin of Polygon, one of the most popular Ethereum layer 2 projects. Now they've renamed to layer 2, layer 1, they're like Ethereum friendly. But they got chosen by Ethereum. Hey, let's help us scale. We're getting expensive. Okay. Also, Mark Cuban liked it too. Mana, friends. Mana did 133x. Decentralized metaverse coin. It only did the final big wave in final Altseason Wave number 2 when Facebook announced Meta. So this is also very important to learn. If you go to Mana, friends, you type in Mana USD. All right. We can actually have a look at its first big move. You have to change to a log chart. If you go to July 2020, which is where it is here, this was the first wave, friends. The first wave, it does a 50x. So you can see it right here. It does this wave, and you think it's done. Because this is when China banned Bitcoin. It's up to 75%, cycle's over, but no, it comes back. Here comes the metaverse announcement. By the way, how upset would you be? You're selling here, you're selling at like 80 cents. And then metaverse announced by Facebook, it sends to $5. I'm telling you now, friends, man, you never ever solve markets. It is literally impossible chaotic randomness. You know, even Warren Buffett, friends, he says, you know, Warren Buffett's got like 100 billion. He still thinks, man, I could have 300 billion if I didn't screw it up. And he could have. I know the examples. He's like, man, I bought that one company, but instead of buying that company, I should have owned X amount of Berkshire Hathaway shares. And he did the maths on them. That's been compounding for 45 years. And it's literally worth like, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 billion extra He's thinking, oh, man, I should have way more. Should have like double amount of money because that amount of Berkshire has. It's literally like, oh, man, I blew 67 grand in a coin. I could have bought a Bitcoin. And then like, you know, in 40 years from now, Bitcoin's like $5 million. It's literally like that. I even see him doing it. In fact, I'm like, man, this guy's doing it at 93. Damn, we got no chance then. And he's the greatest investor. My gosh. So this one, friends, was final Altseason Wave number 2. So final Altseason Wave number 1 was right here. And this was number 2. Remember, 95% of coins topped out here. It was only 5% of coins that went out in the next one. So don't let anybody fool you with anybody like any fractals or any other stuff. But once again, we don't know. Just guessing. Phantom, friends. Phantom 342x it did. I had a Phantom, of course. The gas coin of Phantom, the blockchain with one of the fastest growing ecosystems during the 2021 mania phase. Andre Cronje had a cult following back then because he had a lot of reputation from DeFi. He was the godfather of DeFi, or the Ponzi yield stuff. And so Phantom ends up absolutely going blitz. Absolutely blitz. You can type in FTM USD, go up here. I remember this, man. I think, friends, I bought it. I sold it here, got back in, went up. I sold the top. I'm not joking. I don't know how I did that. Looking back, I'm like, how the hell did I do that? It's like one time, okay? Maybe I did it on, I think, on another coin. I did it as well. So Phantom, friends, man, this is absolutely huge what I was able to do, okay? Woo! Absolutely huge. There's 216x move there. It's wild, man. So it was a 342x total if you go back to measure it. And that's not from the bottom, by the way. From the bottom, it's like 1,000x. So, oh man, big. Phantom as well. All right. You've seen these things, fans. Yeah, some of them have, you just need active community, but a lot of them, man, as well, they were just blessed by the narrative, man. They were blessed by the narrative. Okay, you're in a metaverse coin, and then Facebook ends up doing metaverse. You know, so look at this as well. Okay, Phantom was a competitor to Ethereum, layer 1 chain. MATIC, layer 1 chain. Okay, Luna was on Cosmos. It was seen almost like that, but not really. Solana, another layer 1 chain. You have these elements right now. Important. You are not new if you're a layer 1 chain in this cycle. You're not new. Being a layer 1 chain is now cycle 2. You're a cycle 2 narrative. Basically, it's summarizing what I've done is, friends, why I invented that blueprint, and I made that for you. It's so you get an idea of the new factor by age, right? So if something is an alt layer 1 chain like PulseChain, okay, everyone's like, oh yeah, just another chain. There's tokens that exist on you, and maybe there's a meme point. See, everyone knows that. Everyone understands that. They know what that means now. Back then, when no one knew what the hell that means, they had no idea. No one even knew how to connect to these chains, by the way. They were buying these coins on centralized exchanges. Barely anybody knew what the hell was going on. And that's good because they didn't know how to price stuff. Because they just saw Ethereum at like 300 billion market cap. So they go, okay, you should be 30 billion. You should be 20 billion. You should go up higher. That's all they were doing. They didn't even, there was no amount of like research models to go, wait a minute, Ethereum has this much TVL, DeFi Llama stats. You literally have nothing. Why should I go bridge into you just because you're another chain? There's people popping up chains left and right now. So now they're cycle number 2 narratives. Cycle number 2 narratives, you're still good for another pump. On average, though, you're not getting 100x. Don't even think about it. On average, doesn't mean you can with some chains, of course. You can get the 100x. I just don't know which ones are going to be. No one does. Some people think it's Solana. Maybe if Solana's done a 20x, maybe it does another 5 from the top. We'll see. We'll see. From $8, does Solana go to $800? That's the 100x. That's a unicorn. What about the others? It significantly drops off. I've already shown you from other filters and all these other charts we've done as well. If Ethereum's only got like a 4x to go from here, then these other coins will only have an average of 8 based off the others to ETH ratio, okay? And I want to show you this too, right? From 4 years ago, friends, Ethereum did a 10x, all right? So it did around like, 10 to 12x. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just quickly off the cuff, show you these coins. They did a multiplier on Ethereum. These were the unicorn winners. Now, there were like 500 coins that weren't unicorn winners, you understand? But these are the unicorn winners. So you have, look at this. HEX did a 12x on Ethereum. This did a 25x on Ethereum. This did a 23x on ETH. This did a freaking 100x on ETH, which is super rare. This did a 48x on ETH, that's Luna. MATIC did a 15x, 13x, 34x, all right? These are super, super, super rare, my friends. Super rare. Really rare. Like, I've just picked them out. 8. You know, interesting. You're probably wondering something too. You're probably wondering, hey, where's Cardanzo? If you go back and check Cardanzo, friends, I did. From 4 years ago, it only did a 22x. So Cardanzo only did a 2 on top of Ethereum. It only did a 2. And you can actually see this in the ADA ETH chart. Okay, now I'm going to show you the ADA ETH chart right now. Let's go back and check it. Let's put on a regular chart for friendship. And where are we in July 2020? See right here, friends, July 2020. Look, it ends up doing, there you go. There's your 100%. Bang. See that? There's your 100% from here. I guess if you waited a bit lower and you got it down here, okay, you get a 3x on ETH. But you see, it's not the big juice anymore. So after seeing all of that, friends, just got to be just a bit groovy, friends. Got to enjoy the friendship and kindness while we have it. Okay, so what do we do? If most coins only did a multiplier of 2x on ETH, well, I just shown you ones here that did 10 to 20. So those extreme ones, I mean, forget them. You probably already missed them, right? Probably we have no idea which ones they're going to be, but just give you an idea how tough it is. You got to remember that number, man. Whatever ETH does times 2, that's the average altcoin out of the top 100. So you want to have a look at the top 100 coins with a billion market cap or more. Everything here, Solana, Doge, Tron, Chainlink, everything else. That's going to be the average, just a 2x, friends. Axie Infinity, Popcat is now in here around the billion. So that's the average. The average is going to be whatever ETH does times 2. So if ETH does 4, okay, on average, you're going to do 8. In that average, though, it's going to be some 12, 16, 20, 24s. There will be. There'll be the unicorn that does like a 50 or 100, which you don't even know what it's going to be. You don't even believe it's going to be anything. You have no idea, right? And there's going to be a couple of suckers out here. You know, you got your EOS here, you got your Litecoin, whatever it is. Like just something is going to be pooping around. And it's diminishing over time. And you know it's diminishing over time. Why? People don't throw in $400 anymore, man. People are throwing in 6 months of living expenses, 1 year of living expenses. If people think like, okay, they need $30,000 to live. Yeah, they got 30 grand in, right? They've thrown that in. People were not doing that many cycles ago. So that's why the game's changing. You have bigger funds in, bigger clip sizes everywhere. And yes, I've explained to you, it's finding a needle on a haystack when it comes to these. But you can go through my ultimate bull market strategy guide. Try and filter out where you can kind of get your edge. Because you just want to outperform ETH. You want to get, from today, basically the real number is, you need more than an 8x. That's it. If the average is going to be 8, you need more than 8. You want a 16. You really want a 16. If ETH is going to do 4 and you do a 16, you have increased your ETH value by 4. That's big. But I know you like big butts. Are you going to click sell at exactly 16x? No, you won't. No one does. Oh, you. Why 16? Why won't it stop at 20 when you're up there? Okay, and then next stop, 70% drop. That's what happened in 2021. So I don't have the exact answers. I don't. But I can just tell you, hey, man, maybe look out for some signals. Maybe we get some spooky stuff. Maybe a lot of people rush in. We'll just see how it plays out, friends. We've gone through a lot. Remember my ultimate bull market strategy guide. You have number 1, go on chain. Really important now. Really important to go on chain. Why? There are less scum bots compared to the traders with like advantaged deals and all the other scum leverage traders and the exchanges doing dodgy stuff in the background. And also there's less VCs dumping on you, which are just like leaving offers and dumping via the exchanges. So that's important competitive edge. Number 1, going on chain. Number 2, finding an active community so you can filter stuff out. You're like, you know what? I want to allocate money. I don't want to touch EOS. How many conferences does EOS have? 0. How many conferences does PulseChain community have? 2 per year. Matty Allen hosts them. How many content creators does EOS have? 0. How many content creators does PulseChain have? All right, you have 170. How many streamers on YouTube does EOS have? Literally 0. Probably negative numbers. How many streamers do we have in PulseChain community? 70, 71. Nice. You see that? You're like, okay, I've got an advantage here. But then you might also look at, if you want to check out EOS's, if you want to check out EOS's market cap, it's 861 million. It's like the same as PulseChain. So what gives, right? Either EOS has to drop 90% or maybe PulseChain has to go up. But what you might do is go up the line and then you might compare EOS, you might compare PulseChain to Cardanzo, 14 billion for the ecosystem. You see this Cardanzo, Avalanche, Tron, Polkadot, 8.3 billion. You're saying, hey, PulseChain, man, you shouldn't be that low. Yeah, more people know about Polkadot. More people got bribed. They're getting paid. But you see what I mean? You're starting to figure this stuff out. Like, wait, there's some sort of slingshot potential here. You don't know how high the slingshot's going to be, not financial advice. Okay. Key competitive edge number 3 is information asymmetry. For example, I got a fluffy microphone, 30,000 subs. One example. Another key information asymmetry, you have the 170,000 ETH. Another key information asymmetry, you have Coinbase customers coming in, probably going to be EVM, probably meme coins move up. PulseChain has a good meme coin community. One of the best in crypto, by the way. The culture and the community of meme coins is, if you put Ethereum up there, Ethereum. So I think I'm going to put the top 5. There was Ethereum, you have Solana, you have Coinbase, you have PulseChain. And the 5th is Telegram, but Telegram's become Rug City. It's literally just third world Russian people just scamming each other now. But I don't know. I'll leave them up there. I guess CryptoBands is going to keep talking about. So there you go. There's the top 5. Top 5 meme communities out there. There's an honorable mention with Avalanche as well. Maybe the top 6. But hey, there's like 100 chains. That's pretty good. You're wondering like, wait a minute. If you're a top 6 meme coin chain, why aren't you on the top 6? Well, there you go, friends. That's called like, hey, that's called value. Okay, value. What's the 4th key information, key competitive edge? It's developers. Now, obviously, PulseChain has low amount of developers, but guess what, man? There's low devs everywhere. They've all stacked themselves on Coinbase, Ethereum, and obviously, you're probably going to think Solana. Nope. Solana has lost 20% of its developer count in the past 2 years. So how's the price going up? I don't know. They've lost the devs, but they've pumped money into memes, and they got it right. They basically threw a dart at the board, and they got it bullseye first time. Interesting. What are all the chains going to do with all their devs? We'll see. They start moving around. You know, Coinbase friends, their developers, they've moved from Arbitrum and Optimism. A lot of them have. So Optimism and Arbitrum, they've had like a decrease of their devs and they've just gone to Coinbase because they're all Ethereum friendly. So they're just going to go stack the network effect, whatever it is there. But you see, they're staying within EVM. That's the power of Ethereum network. So I guess being Ethereum friendly is pretty helpful. So we've gone through a lot, friends. See all these coins that did 100x? Yeah, that's great. I want to make 100x. Yeah. I want to find a needle in a haystack too. I think more importantly, we just have to take that Warren Buffett approach, which is 1, keep our posture very, very, very straight. 2, elbows very sharp. 3, also remember, you're just here to buy low, man. That's it. You're not here to tell me how far it's going to go, how high. Like, for example, if you just were buying low in 2022 Bitcoin, you didn't know the Bitcoin ETF would come or Bitcoin would hit 73K so fast. You had no idea. You just had to believe. You just get in and buy low. So I think that's the best principle to play. And I know for a fact, historically and statistically, that is the best principle to play. Buying low and looking for value, not buying hoes, buying low. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.